For those of you interested in controlling the sound bowl from a MIDI interface, a MIDI is a musical instrument digital interface. This can be controlled via a MIDI keyboard or a computer over the USB port. So I've set up the mushroom outside of the bowl just for cable management. It's easier to do it that way. It still works manually. And then I've connected the USB cable, I've switched it on, and it's now enumerated as a MIDI over USB device. So I'm just using a standard open source MIDI software. So the first thing I have to do is I have to go select MIDI output to the musical mushroom. And then once that's done, the default setting is for the C4. So when I press the C4 note, it receives the MIDI message and it'll sound the bowl, in this case at full loudness. But we can also receive basically volume control messages over the MIDI port to modulate the intensity with basically like a slider. So that's possible as well. I can't do it with this specific keyboard, but I have other software where we can use the slider to modulate the amplitude. So once you have MIDI control, you're able to use sequencer software to have this thing play pre-recorded sequences or shows, which is quite nice. So you can have a pre-recorded symphony of sound bowls that are all computer controlled. You can map out one bowl per note, for example. So this one responds to C4. You could set up another one to respond to a different note. The way to set up which note it responds to, we can do it using the configuration file, which is I can demonstrate in another video, or we could use the select MIDI note menu. So I'm going to navigate to that and I'm going to press select, and when I do, the very next MIDI note it detects is the one that it's going to respond to from that point onwards. So let's go to that.
Select bowl, resonant, select MIDI note.
So I'm pushing select.
Select MIDI note.
So I have a certain amount of time now to press a button. After, if I don't in that window, it'll time out. But let's say I press this black key up here.
MIDI note selected.
So now it's basically it's going to just respond to that one, and it no longer responds to the original one it was responding to. So that's how you basically configure the note. You can also do the same procedure to respond to a slider. Again, I don't have that on this screen, but that's how you would do it as well. It is maybe easier to configure it through the configuration file when you have a number of these devices, but this is how you would do it through the user menu.